Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market watch list here today. Thank you guys again for tuning in. As always, do appreciate it. Give it a few more minutes here for some people to hop in here, and then we'll get ready to go in terms of looking at some stocks. All right, so there's going to be 3 stocks on the watch list here for me today, and that's it. So far, things aren't moving pre-market as I always would like them to. So it seems as if right now, pre-market, things are just a tad bit slow. That can pick up very quickly. So we are going to be having our eyes on the scanners today, are going to be taking a look at some other things as the day progresses. But as for right now, definitely 3 stocks I'm going to keep on the watch list. Again, markets are still a little volatile, but that is starting to slow down. I'll show you that as well here in a few minutes too. Good morning, everybody. So again, Apple, Alibaba, and Netflix are going to be the 3 main stocks for today. So all large cap. There is no penny stocks today that I like. So everything we're watching is a little bit higher price, and that's okay. So again, Alibaba, for a recap, had earnings on Friday in which it sold off from about 160 down to 145. That's looking pretty good. Apple also had earnings, as you guys saw. They got annihilated, kind of. And now they're continuing to sell off here today. So probably going to be following Apple for a continuation play short. And then Netflix is just sort of in an interesting area, and I'll show you that one as well too. Let's see. Anyways, all right, let's get into sharing the screen here. All right, so starting with the first stock here on the watch list, we'll look at BABA, so BABA. Well, this is a 5-minute chart. So as you can see from Friday's trading, this is what it looked like, obviously. So a lot of up, a lot of down. Right now, Alibaba is coming into this $145 price point, which is a previous resistance that now comes a support. So a couple things we could see here. We could see Alibaba hold 145 as a support and end up bouncing a little bit. That's possible. But with the way the market's been acting and the way this sell-off occurred, I imagine we're probably going to see Alibaba break 145 and then continue down for the day. So for me, I'll be playing Alibaba to the short side, most likely below the 145 price for a short play. So again, something we could see too is, Alibaba doesn't just have to break 145 and go down for the day. It could start off by coming up to test the closing price of Friday, and then it could sell off. We might see it pop up even higher to retest some of these key resistance levels before selling off. But all in all, most likely going to be watching Alibaba for a short play. Let's see. All right, so and then if we look at your daily chart on Alibaba, I mean, you can just get a clear idea. It had a gap up. Its most recent low is at 130, so it could sell off pretty good from here. It shied the 50 moving average on the daily chart, so just going to be carefully watching Alibaba below that 145 price point. Okay. Next one will be Netflix. So the interesting thing about Netflix is on its daily chart, Netflix came all the way up to the 200. Right here to the 200 moving average. Let me zoom in here. So you can see Netflix on the daily chart came right up to the 200 moving average and sold right off. So that's a strong sign that we're getting rejection off of previous resistance levels and at the 200 moving average. So to me, that means we're probably going to be seeing Netflix sell off here, maybe today or tomorrow, but going to be watching Netflix short as well. You can see it's trending down. Okay, it is trending down, and it's at this $310 price point. If you look, one second. If you look, you can see that 310 is this previous resistance, previous breakout, bounce, bounce, going straight across, that becomes a support. If $310 breaks on Netflix, we're probably going to see a sell-off. How big, hard to determine intraday, but I do think if 310 breaks with authority, at least today and then maybe rolling into tomorrow or in the coming days, we're probably going to see Netflix down to a price of 296, 297, 298, 300. So do anticipate we're probably going to see a sell-off on Netflix of around $10 to $13 within today, tomorrow, and the coming days. Granted, that is if the market stays trending down as well. If the market went on an absolute tear and just went flying up, then the thesis on Netflix would be completely irrelevant, most likely, and then Netflix would go higher and the short play would therefore not work. So again, still kind of market dependent on how the market moves, but if the market moves in the favor of the downside, then we're most likely going to see a short play unravel here on Netflix, and I do think we could see price targets of probably 300 to 296 within today, tomorrow, maybe even a couple days. All right. Next one, hold on, I'm looking at a comment here. Well, the reason these bigger name stocks move in unison with the market is because all these bigger name stocks are what make the market. So whatever direction the market moves in, you're naturally going to see these other big stocks doing it because the overall market is kind of a gauge for the rest of the stocks, right? There's a lot of like little back end work that goes into it, right? You know, you have Netflix, you have Facebook, you have Apple. These are some of the heaviest weighted market cap stocks. So when they go down, it pulls the market too. So it's just that's just it. These are the stocks that make up the stock market. So when you watch the stock market as a whole, naturally these stocks are going to follow suit. All right, next one here on the watch list is Apple, AAPL. So AAPL, next one on the watch list. So Apple, let me get some of this stuff off here. So for me on Apple, hold on, chart's loading. That's not the chart I want anyways. Actually, it is. Never mind. So for me on Apple, Apple broke this 204, 205 level. Let's just call it 205. It broke the 205 support it had, but the 205 support wasn't really a big support. It was this one candle wick there at 205. So that broke, which leads me to believe that really, let me put it this way, the next big structural support system we have on Apple is going to be down here, right? This is your next big structural support area on Apple. Until Apple gets into the 195s, the 190 prices, there really is no support. It doesn't have any. Okay, it's not existent. Believe me, there isn't any support on Apple until 190s, 195s. So the argument here is there's this small little that kind of messed things up, but there's a small little pullback that occurred on Apple right here at about 200. So the arguable statement here is that you might see Apple bouncing on the 200 mark, but realistically, with its earnings and the way it's selling off right now and the fact that there isn't really any real support to the 195s, 190s, I would say in the coming days to maybe coming weeks, we're probably going to see Apple down in $190 to $195. If this plays out the way it looks like it would, we'd naturally see we'll see Apple down in prices of 190s, 195s. But I definitely foresee a 200 touch first before that happens. 200 is a major psychological number, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see Apple move down to that $200 price, maybe see a day or two of bouncing or consolidation, or maybe even a couple days of consolidation on the 200, and then if it gives way, it's without a doubt going to 195, potentially 190. 190 would be a stretch without some recovery bounce, I would think, but definitely 195. So if we break 200, I would say we're going to 195. So For those of you that are considering buying Apple, it's not even worth it. Not even worth the buy. There's no reason to buy it until it gets down to about 100 195, which would be the most recent structural support system that other traders and investors would be considering buying Apple at. Until it gets to that price point, you're not going to really have any technical analysis dependent traders coming in and buying Apple at these current levels, because there isn't any long at this current level. It's all a short. So the long bias traders aren't going to be hopping in on swing trades here. They're not going to be hopping in just to invest. I mean, some people probably, but most of what you're going to see long wise will be intraday setups on Apple that most likely will occur to a short. But regardless, the best place that I could foresee a buying opportunity on Apple right now is going to be in that structural area of 190 to 195, give or take, right? So those are the three stocks here on my watch list for today. In terms of UGAS and DGAS, and I know like the natural gas report came out now, like everyone's going crazy because they're probably doing some crazy things. So again, I don't really trade those ETFs very often, so I don't know. I mean, I could easily figure it out. Give me a half a day and I'll have all the answers for you, because it wouldn't be too hard to figure out. But again, it's just not something that I naturally gravitate towards trading, so I normally don't talk about them. But again, another YouTuber, Ricky Gutierrez, used to work with them. But anyways, he trades those all the time, so probably not a bad idea to check out what he's having to say about them. I'm sure he'll probably have a little bit more insight for you on that area. But I will do that in the future. I'll take the time to look at DGAS, UGAS, and just get comfortable with them. So when you guys have questions, I can relate to them from here on this point forward. But other than that, that's going to be all that I have for today. Three stocks: Apple, Apple, Netflix, and Alibaba. Three stocks, three trades for the day for me, hopefully. Other than that, yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. I do appreciate it. Again, you can always check out the links in the description of the video below. By the way, before I head out, I will tell you this one last thing before I go. So many of you guys have asked if I do private one-on-one, like tutoring and mentoring for people. I used to a long time ago. And then I stopped because I was opening up Boiler Room Trading. I was always very busy. Now, a lot of things are kind of set in place with Boiler Room Trading. It's kind of, operation day-to-day is kind of slowing down. So now have the time to take on some extra hours of private tutoring for some people and mentoring. And this really just goes for the people who need the additional help. Not everybody does, but some people do. So I do have some available time slots for private tutoring. I will put a link in the video. It's not up there right now, but if you come back and check this video within like the next 10 or 15 minutes, you'll see I'll have a link in there. And it'll be labeled like private mentoring and tutoring. You can check out my available time slots. If it fits and works in your schedule, then you can schedule a session with me, and then we can go through obviously stock trading materials. But I didn't do that before, but I am now. So again, if that's something you'll be interested in, I will have a link in this video and then the future videos to come, but I just got to get it in there right now. And then you can check out any available times I have, and we can sit down and go over some stuff. One-on-one, just me or just you. Okay. So I will have that in the video here, 10 or 15 minutes. You can check it out. And I'll continuously be adding more time slots to my schedule. Right now, I only have a couple days this week. I think I have openings for today, Wednesday, and then I'll probably add some maybe on the weekend. But again, it's always going to get added to the time slot, so you can always come back into the link that I'm eventually going to put up there, and then you can obviously pick the times that work best for you. So it's always going to be based on the time slots I have available, and then you can come in and check and see if that meets up with your schedule as well. So other than that, guys, have a good day. I will see you guys all for another pre-market watch list tomorrow morning and some recap videos here today. And we have a new podcast coming out today that should be pretty cool. Other than that, I will see you guys all tomorrow morning, and I'll have that link fixed in the video here within the next couple minutes or so. So everybody, have a green day and take care.